few weeks ago in a call with my business coach and mentor, we got into talking about things that he had wished he had done before or started earlier in his journey growing his coaching company to multiple seven figures. One of those things that came up was he said that he wished he would have started documenting the process in the journey a lot sooner. My name is Bridger Deaton. I'm the creator and founder of the Lean and Lethal Project, an online fitness and nutrition coaching company for men focusing on making men lean and lethal again. I don't want to get to the point where I do have my coaching company at seven figures, and I wish I would have done the same, documenting it. So today is going to be the start of that journey. The goal is every single week to be as raw and authentic as possible and allow my true self and creativity to come through. So let's get after it. I like to give myself something new to focus on. So obviously back in July, we did another half Ironman. So that was a big focus as far as my training went. This next block, we don't have any competitions coming up, but beginning of 2026, we got some big things in the works that we will talk about later. But my big goal for this last quarter, as far as my personal training goes, is to, one, obviously keep it just increasing my strength, especially in like pressing and pulling movements. I really want to build lower body kind of resilience and strength as well. Lower body size isn't really that important to me, especially increasing the running volume, which kind of hinting at what we're going to be focusing on at the beginning of next year. But having that just strength and resilience to really prevent any sorts of injuries is going to be super important. And then another focus is going to be mobility, power, core strength, things that are going to allow me to continue to do different activities, whether that's something such as surfing, riding a bowl, whatever life throws at me. I want to be able to do that to my best of my ability. So that's going to kind of be the overarching concept. It's not very specific, but just kind of overall preparing my body for whatever sorts of activities and adventure that I want to throw at it here coming up in 2026. So with that being said, I'm going to run you guys through a little bit of how I program, both for myself and for clients. We have our own coaching app where I build my own programs out in, as well as all of our clients. So we'll have instructional videos for each exercise, and then you'll get your reps, your sets, rest periods for each one, what the intensity should be. I like to use RIR versus RPE. A little easier to understand. RIR is just going to be reps in reserve. So how many more reps until failure, essentially. So if it's a 1 RIR, you can do one more rep before you hit complete mechanical failure. Versus RPE, it's a little more confusing. It's reps of perceived exertion, or rate of perceived exertion, excuse me. So like a 9 RPE would be equivalent essentially to a 1 RIR, where 10 is like all out max effort, and that would be equivalent to like a 0 RIR. But I think RIR is just a little easier to understand. So I'm setting up a 5-day split. Now I've done every split in the books between bro split, push pull legs, upper lower full. But the one we're gonna put together for this training block is a little bit different than what I've done in the past. So day 1, upper body push. Day 2, lower body strength. Day 3, pull and core. Day 4, power, mobility, and core work. And then day 5 is going to be a full body functional hypertrophy kind of day. So that is going to be our structure. I'm going to get into building out this program. So we're going to crack open a little bit of caffeine to fuel this work sesh. I got a couple emails to send out to a few new clients, get their intake forms to them so I can get those back and get working on their programs at the beginning of next week. So we got our caffeine. We're gonna throw the old glasses on so we're not straining our eyes looking at the computer. And I'll talk to you here once we get this program built out. And then we're gonna go hit day 1 at the gym right after this.
Cheers to my past. I'm doing great now, just in case.
Alright, so we're starting off this program on day 2, which is lower body strength. So the primer or warm-up movement we got today is the exercise or Swiss ball hamstring curl. So that's really gonna get some blood flow to the hamstrings, sort of get those firing, as well as challenge our core and our stability to really set us up for some squat patterns. So after this, we got trap bar deadlift, barbell RDL, dumbbell goblet squat with heels elevated, single leg extensions, and then walking dumbbell lunges. So pretty hefty quad focused leg day here. Yeah, let's get into it. Alright, back from the gym. I'm going to run you guys through how I make my post-workout shake. And this is a shake I have even on days that I don't train, just so that I can be consistent with 1, getting my creatine in, and then 2, obviously we got a protein goal to hit every day, and it helps out a lot to have 50 grams come from this shake. This is the magic ingredient, I believe, to a good thick milkshake consistency. And that is bananas, but not just any banana, frozen bananas. So I got a whole bag of frozen bananas in my freezer. I usually buy a thing of bananas, let them get a little bit brown, and then peel them all, put them in a frozen bag or in a bag in the freezer. Sometimes I'll use the fat-free Fairlife milk. Sometimes I just go with this vanilla almond milk. I like to not have full fat milk. For 2 reasons. 1, I feel like when I have full fat dairy, I get a lot more gassy. And then 2, it's just a lot of extra unnecessary calories, in my opinion, that I'd rather get from other sources. So that is why I choose these forms of milk. Creatine wise, this is just from Costco. 1 scoop is 5 grams. I actually do 10 grams a day, so I do 2 scoops. A lot of the research when it comes to mental benefits has actually been shown of upwards of 10 to 20 grams of creatine per day. So the sort of baseline for enhancing performance and kind of the traditional benefits you hear about creatine, 5 grams a day. So if you're new to it, I just rock it with that. But if you want to give 10 grams a day a shot, or even like 15 or 20, doesn't hurt. There's been a lot of research on that, especially on the mental aspect of things. Protein wise, I just go with a whey isolate. Usually I'll get the Ascent one from Costco. Right now I have this one from Raw Nutrition, just the grass-fed whey isolate. Also, another good one that I like a lot is from Just Ingredients. That's another good one. They have a grass-fed whey isolate of protein. So, boom, got 2 scoops of whey isolate, 10 grams of creatine, 1 frozen banana in there. Gonna blend this guy up. Boom, look at this consistency we got. Nice and thick like a milkshake, and nice and cold. Nobody likes a warm protein shake. It's just nasty. And then depending on what I ate throughout the rest of the day, sometimes I will add a few more carbs than what the banana has. Banana is about 25 to 30 grams of carbs depending on the size of it, and obviously fruit carbohydrates or fructose. So pairing that with some glucose is actually shown that it will allow for the best and quickest digestion of those carbohydrates, so you can start replenishing that muscle glycogen, jumpstarting the recovery process, and building some good muscle. So sometimes I will pair the banana with a little bit of rice cakes. That's usually my most often. I try not to do things like sourdough, because then you're putting butter on it, and butter slows down digestion. So I try to keep the post-workout meal obviously high protein, got 50 grams of protein in here, and then a relatively high carbohydrate, usually like 30 to 70 grams of carbs, and then super low fat. So the protein and those carbs are digested as quickly as possible, and that recovery process is started. So I'm gonna put this down. We'll see you. I'm gonna put this down, and we'll see you a little later. Got a few groceries to grab here to get set up for the week, as far as meal prep and all that goes. Also going to do some protein coffees here for breakfast. So I like these Stoke cold brew. Get these guys, and I'll make like a super thick vanilla whey protein shake, and then pour that in as like a creamer, kind of like a cold foam. Got that knocked out. 2 quick bags of groceries. Usually like fries. It's a pretty quick grocery run for me, since I do most of my grocery shopping at Costco. So just a few quick smaller things that I don't need extremely large amounts of. The thing too, one thing that I've realized recently is tools like Instacart can actually be so valuable, especially if you're someone that's super busy, you gotta do your own grocery shopping, you're a business owner, all of that sort of stuff. Or if you're someone that tends to buy a lot more than you need, or you see whatever Oreos or things like that at the grocery store, and then you end up buying them, and then you end up eating them. Using things like Instacart, one, you're gonna save a whole lot of time, and it's only gonna cost you like an extra $15. And the second thing is that you can be a whole lot more disciplined, and you can order the same things every week, like already on there. Like once you order the foods that you need for 1 week, that saves, and you can go in there and order the exact same stuff with like 2 clicks. And then you're gonna be a lot less tempted, I guess, to buy all the things that they put in front of you, because obviously grocery stores are designed, the layout and all that, to try to entice you to get all these things. That's why you have donuts and all these sweet treats on the end caps of aisles, or by the checkouts and things like that. So if you're someone that kind of struggles to stay disciplined when you're grocery shopping, it's gonna be a whole lot easier to say no to those foods once at the store, versus buying them and then trying to say no to them every single day on your kitchen counter. So Little pro tip for the grocery shopping. I previously made YouTube videos that were trainings based on certain topics, and I never really was able to find my true authentic self in those. I had trouble creating content because I didn't know what the goal of it was. This time around, I want this series to be nothing but a documentary on my life, my experiences, my travel, the fun that I have, the terrible times that I have, and the challenges that I undergo, everything across the board. And now through that, whether it is a trip to a new country abroad or just another strength training session here in Arizona, I want to take every opportunity I can to show you guys things that I have learned throughout the last few years as a business owner and entrepreneur. I want to show you things from how I program training sessions and training blocks for myself as well as clients, things that I've learned as far as nutrition that are actually going to move the needle and that aren't just fad trends. I want to tell you different perspectives that I developed over the years, challenges that I've faced in business, relationship things that I've learned where sometimes I got screwed over by people. Sometimes I had amazing relationships that came at the most unexpected time and 10x'd the quality of my life. So there's going to be a lot of up and downs. There's going to be a lot of highs, a lot of lows, and I'm welcoming all of it. But today is going to be the start of me taking you guys along with me for the journey.